Have you ever felt like you're swimming against the current, fighting against a constant flow of negative influences that seem to drain your energy? It's an exhausting feeling, isn't it? But I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. Many of us have experienced that internal struggle, surrounded by people and circumstances that seem to undermine our happiness and fulfillment. But what can we do about it? How can we navigate these turbulent waters of life and find a sense of authenticity and fulfillment? One key lies in deeply reflecting on the people around us and the impact they have on us. Do they lift us up or tear us down? This simple yet profound question can be the starting point for an honest assessment of our personal relationships. Do we surround ourselves with people who inspire us, support us, and help us grow? Or do we allow negative individuals to drain our energy and undermine our emotional and mental well-being? If you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's start this transformative journey together. Are you ready? This is where Stoic wisdom can illuminate our path. Stoics teach us that we can't control external circumstances, but we can control our response to them. This includes choosing the people we surround ourselves with and the boundaries we set in our relationships. By adopting a Stoic perspective, we can learn to wisely discern who are the companions that truly lift us up and help us reach our highest potential, and who are those whose influence is detrimental to our growth and well-being. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting all ties with the people around us, but rather establishing healthy boundaries and cultivating more authentic and meaningful relationships. It's about recognizing our own worth and not compromising our values for the sake of pleasing others. In doing so, we empower ourselves to create an inner circle of companions who nourish us, challenge us, and help us become the best version of ourselves. It's crucial to take the time to pause and reflect on our personal relationships. What kind of energy do they bring into our life? How do we feel after interacting with them? These questions can serve as a guide to assess the quality of our connections and make informed decisions about who we want to share our time and energy with. By consciously choosing our companions and establishing healthy boundaries, we're taking a significant step towards a more fulfilling and authentic life. We're reclaiming our personal power and taking responsibility for our own happiness and well-being. It's an act of authenticity and self-affirmation that allows us to live in harmony with our deepest values and aspirations. Of course, this process isn't always easy. It may require courage and determination to face difficult relationships and set clear boundaries. But the reward is worth it. By freeing ourselves from the weight of toxic relationships and cultivating more positive and enriching connections, we're paving the way for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So I invite you to join me on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. Imagine time as an invaluable resource and energy as a finite treasure we possess. Both are resources we must manage wisely to live a fulfilling and authentic life. Yet, in the whirlwind of modern life, it's easy to lose sight of this perspective. We find ourselves constantly bombarded by external demands, whether at work, in our personal relationships, or in our daily responsibilities. In this context, the importance of setting boundaries becomes crucial. But what exactly are personal boundaries? Boundaries are like borders that delineate our personal territory, including our time, energy, and emotions. They are essential for protecting us from burnout and preserving our physical, emotional, and mental integrity. In a world that often glorifies constant busyness and overexploitation, setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but a declaration of self-respect and recognition of our own worth. It means saying yes to what nourishes us and brings us joy, and saying no to what drains us and causes discomfort. It's recognizing that to genuinely care for others, we must first take care of ourselves. This balance between giving and receiving is key to staying healthy and happy. By setting clear and healthy boundaries, we're building a solid foundation for more authentic and meaningful relationships, where mutual respect and understanding are the fundamental pillars. The process of setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. We need to take the time to reflect on our values, needs, and priorities. What's important to us? What are our goals and dreams? What makes us feel good, and what drains us? These questions will help us identify the boundaries we need to set in our lives. Once we've identified our boundaries, the next step is to communicate them clearly and assertively to others. This can be a challenge, especially if we're used to pleasing others or are afraid of conflict. However, it's crucial to learn to say no when necessary, without feeling guilty or ashamed. Saying no is not a personal rejection, but an affirmation of our own boundaries and needs. By establishing boundaries, we grant ourselves a sense of freedom and peace of mind. It allows us to take control of our lives and choose how we want to invest our time and energy. We free ourselves from the weight of external expectations and allow ourselves to live according to our own values and desires. It's important to remember that the quality of life is not measured by the number of tasks completed, but by the quality of the experiences we choose to have. Setting boundaries allows us to focus on what truly matters and gives us the opportunity to fully enjoy life. So, I invite you to reflect on what boundaries are necessary to protect your time, energy, and mental health. Take charge of your life and define the boundaries that will guide your path towards a more fulfilling and authentic life. Remember, setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but an act of self-love and self-care. Your well-being deserves it. In the world we live in, our words hold significant power. They have the ability to influence our environment and our relationships, both positively and negatively. Every word we speak, every opinion we express, has the potential to create connection or division, to build or destroy. That's why it's crucial that we learn to express our feelings and opinions with caution and wisdom. From the Stoic perspective, we understand that we have control over our thoughts and emotions. This is a form of personal freedom that allows us to choose our responses wisely rather than reacting impulsively to a situation. We can take a moment to reflect and respond in a way that is constructive and respectful. In the digital age we live in, communication has become faster and more accessible than ever. However, this ease of communication can also lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. It's easy to get carried away in the heat of the moment and say something we later regret. That's why it's important to moderate our expression online and offline, to preserve our valuable relationships and avoid unnecessary harm. Empathy and understanding are key to authentic and respectful communication. Even when we disagree with someone, we can express our viewpoints in a way that acknowledges and respects the other person's perspective. Actively listening and trying to understand the other person's viewpoint before responding is a practice that can strengthen our relationships and foster human connection. Imagine our words as the water of a river, fluid and adaptable, but also potentially destructive if they overflow. We must learn to channel our words carefully, recognizing their power and responsibility. It's important to remember that it's not just about what we say, but also how we say it and the impact it has on others. In a world that values speed and efficiency, it's easy to forget the importance of depth and quality in our interactions. Instead of simply conveying information, we should strive to communicate in a way that is meaningful and enriching. This means taking the time to truly listen to others and share our own experiences in an authentic and honest way. Inner calm and the effort to understand before being understood are practices that can improve our communication and our relationships. When we disagree with someone, we can choose to respond from a place of mutual respect and openness, rather than closing ourselves off to the possibility of constructive dialogue. The Stoic approach to disagreement emphasizes respect and the pursuit of shared growth through dialogue. Instead of seeing disagreement as a threat, we see it as an opportunity to learn and grow together. This requires humility and a willingness to recognize that we don't have all the answers and that we can benefit from exchanging ideas and experiences. Authentic communication is rooted in vulnerability and courage. It means having the courage to share our true thoughts and feelings, even when we know they might be difficult to express or hear. This allows us to connect more deeply with others and discover our own voice in the process. Imagine we are gardeners of our words, choosing them with care, just as a gardener tends to their garden with patience, passion, and intention. We must nurture our interactions with others. Every word we speak has the potential to plant seeds of love, understanding, and connection. So let's choose our words with wisdom and love, and cultivate relationships that flourish and thrive. Love, that complex and beautiful emotion that has inspired poets, writers, and artists throughout the centuries, is a powerful force that can transform lives, but can also bring challenges and difficulties. In the context of Stoicism, love is not merely an uncontrollable emotion, but a conscious and free act that seeks fulfillment for both oneself and the loved one. From the Stoic perspective, love is seen as a force that must be cultivated with wisdom and moderation. It's about loving intensely, but in a way that allows for the freedom and independence of both parties. To love without possession or control, but from a place of mutual respect and acceptance of each individual's uniqueness. True love, according to the Stoics, is not one that limits or suffocates, but one that gives wings and allows each person to be who they truly are. It's a love that does not seek to cling or control, but that celebrates the autonomy and freedom of the other. It's about loving with an open mind and an unattached heart, expecting nothing in return but the happiness and well-being of the loved one. To love freely is synonymous with loving wisely. It's about prioritizing the choice to be together from a place of personal fulfillment, not need. It's recognizing that each individual is responsible for their own happiness, and that love should not be used as a means to fill emotional voids or satisfy selfish needs. The analogy of a bird is useful to illustrate this concept of free love. Just as a caged bird loses its ability to fly, possessive and controlling love can stifle the growth and freedom of the other person. On the other hand, loving freely means allowing the other to maintain their autonomy and explore their own path, while sharing together the journey of life. Stoics also accept the impermanence of love and understand that relationships can change over time. Every shared moment is valued as a precious gift, but it is also recognized that nothing in this life is permanent. This acceptance of reality allows us to love in a more authentic and detached manner, enjoying the present without clinging to the past or worrying about the future. It's essential to cultivate a love that enriches the other's life without creating dependencies. Sharing from individual completeness and celebrating the uniqueness of each person allows us to build healthy and enriching relationships that help us grow and become better versions of ourselves. The call is to love with an open heart, staying true to ourselves and seeking relationships that make us feel more alive and happy. When lived consciously and freely, love can be an inexhaustible source of joy and satisfaction. It's a precious gift that we must nurture and cultivate with love, respect, and gratitude. On the path of compassion and caring for others, we often face the challenge of balancing our willingness to help with the need to take care of ourselves. This delicate balance, known as selective compassion, is crucial for maintaining our emotional stability and mental health while seeking to make a difference in the world around us. Selective compassion involves a focused and conscious approach to helping others. We recognize that our energies and resources are limited, and therefore we must carefully choose where and how we invest them. This selection is not about a lack of empathy or indifference, but about being realistic about our capabilities and priorities. It's essential to recognize our limitations, to maximize our positive impact, without compromising our well-being as individuals. We can't tackle all the world's problems or solve every difficulty we encounter. However, by being selective in our actions, we can concentrate our efforts where they are most effective and meaningful. The balance between offering effective help and maintaining our own stability and mental health is crucial. If we immerse ourselves too deeply in the suffering of others without taking care of ourselves, we risk emotional and physical burnout. Therefore, we must learn to set healthy boundaries and say no when necessary to preserve our integrity and long-term helping capacity. Sometimes selective compassion means accepting that we can't do everything. Like using a flashlight instead of turning on all the lights, we choose to focus our attention and energy on specific areas where we can make a difference. This doesn't mean ignoring the suffering around us, but recognizing that our actions are more effective when they are directed and deliberate. The risk of personal burnout is real when we try to take on more than our capabilities and resources allow. As we strive to be a positive force in the lives of others, we must remember that we also need to take care of ourselves. This may mean taking time to rest, seeking support when needed, and establishing clear boundaries in our relationships. Being well ourselves is fundamental to being able to offer effective help to others when necessary. If we don't take care of our own health and well-being, our ability to help others will be compromised. Therefore, self-care is not an act of selfishness, but an integral part of being able to contribute meaningfully to the well-being of others. Selective compassion allows us to stay strong and healthy, enabling us to be a positive force in the long term. By being selective in our helping actions, we can avoid burnout and remain committed to our causes and communities over time. This allows us to be a constant and reliable support for those in need. Ultimately, selective compassion invites us to reflect on our role and capacity to help in the world. It reminds us that compassion is not just about giving all of ourselves, but about finding a sustainable balance that allows us to be a continuous positive force. By prioritizing conscious action and self-care, we can cultivate a compassion that endures over time and benefits both others and ourselves. In our lives, the people around us play a fundamental role in our well-being and personal development. Every interaction, every relationship leaves a mark on us, whether positive or negative. From the moment we are born, we are influenced by those around us, and this influence continues throughout our life. From the Stoic perspective, we understand the importance of self-control and the pursuit of inner peace, regardless of external chaos. This teaching reminds us that we can't control the actions or attitudes of others, but we can control how we respond to them. It is in this space of self-control where we find true freedom and serenity. One of the bravest decisions we can make is to walk away from toxic relationships. These relationships can be like an anchor dragging us down, preventing us from growing and thriving. By freeing ourselves from these negative influences, we make room for healthier and more enriching relationships that help us reach our full potential. Identifying and eliminating negative influences in our lives requires honesty and personal reflection. We must be willing to look within ourselves and recognize how certain people and situations are affecting our quality of life. This can be a difficult and painful process, but it is essential for our long-term growth and well-being. Imagine people as tranquil rivers or storms in our lives. Positive people are like tranquil rivers that nourish us and give us life, while toxic people are like storms that drag us down and leave us exhausted. It's important to surround ourselves with people who lift us up and inspire us, rather than those who drag us down. The metaphor of a garden is also useful to describe this process of tending to our social environment. Just like a gardener cares for their garden by removing weeds, we must weed out toxic influences from our lives to allow positive and healthy relationships to flourish. Ridding ourselves of toxic friendships is not only an act of self-care, but also a step towards personal discovery and a more serene life. By freeing ourselves from relationships that weigh us down, we can open ourselves up to new opportunities and experiences that help us grow and thrive. It's important to evaluate the voices and presences in our life, considering their impact on our well-being and growth. We must ask ourselves if the people around us are helping us to be the best version of ourselves, or if they are holding us back and limiting our potential. Finally, we call to action to make conscious changes to our social circle in search of a better quality of life. This may involve setting clear boundaries with toxic people, seeking out new friendships that inspire and support us, and cultivating meaningful relationships that help us achieve our goals and dreams. Remember, our lives are too precious to waste on relationships that do not nourish us or help us grow. Life is full of challenges and adversities that, although they may seem overwhelming at the moment, offer unique opportunities for personal growth and resilience. Inspired by Stoic philosophy, we can approach these trials with courage and determination, turning them into stepping stones towards a stronger and more resilient self. Stoics teach us that adversity is not an insurmountable obstacle, but an essential part of the human experience. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to demonstrate our adaptability and inner strength. Instead of succumbing to despair, we can use these difficult moments as catalysts for our personal growth. One of the keys to cultivating resilience is changing our perception of obstacles. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable barriers, Stoics encourage us to view them as opportunities for learning and development. Every challenge is a vital question that challenges us to find creative solutions and to discover new strengths within ourselves. Acceptance plays a crucial role in this process. While it's natural to resist difficulties and wish they would disappear, true wisdom lies in recognizing that challenges are an inevitable part of life. By accepting this truth, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and focus on how we can grow and thrive despite adverse circumstances. Behind every challenge, there are valuable lessons waiting to be discovered. Whether in moments of pain, failure, or loss, we can find profound insights into ourselves and the world around us. These lessons allow us to develop a greater understanding of our own strengths and weaknesses, as well as a deeper appreciation for the beauty and fragility of life. In addition to strengthening our sense of self-awareness, facing adversity also strengthens our emotional control. By learning to manage our emotions during difficult times, we develop a greater ability to remain calm and composed in stressful situations. This skill is crucial for resilience, as it allows us to face challenges with clarity and determination. Every time we overcome adversity, we build a stronger and more resilient version of ourselves. By confronting our fears and challenging our limitations, we become more confident in our abilities and better prepared to face future obstacles. This transformation allows us to live with greater confidence and purpose, knowing that we are capable of overcoming any challenge life presents us. Finally, adopting a Stoic perspective helps us transform fear and uncertainty into strength and clarity. Instead of letting fear paralyze us, we can use it as motivation to act with courage and determination. Uncertainty no longer scares us, but drives us to seek our inner truth and move forward with confidence in the future. On the journey of life, we encounter the important lesson of prioritizing ourselves and being authentic, a teaching that aligns with the principles of Stoicism. This approach is not an act of selfishness, as some might think, but a vital necessity to reach our maximum potential and be a stronger and more balanced version of ourselves. Authenticity and honesty in our interactions are fundamental to building solid and meaningful relationships. From the Stoic perspective, being authentic means being true to oneself and living according to our values and principles. When we act authentically, we convey trust and mutual respect, strengthening the bonds with those around us. Taking care of oneself is an essential component of authenticity. Imagine a glass of water. Before being able to share water with others, that glass must first be full. Similarly, before we can offer support and care to others, we must ensure that our own needs are met. This is not an act of selfishness, but of wisdom and responsibility. Establishing healthy boundaries is an integral part of this process. Saying no when necessary not only protects our well-being, but also sets clear expectations and promotes more authentic and respectful relationships. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write "mind over body," so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. Sometimes we need to remember that we can't do it all. It's okay to prioritize ourselves at certain times. Daily small acts of self-care and personal choice are equally important. Taking time to rest without guilt, engaging in activities that bring us joy, and being honest in our relationships are powerful ways to cultivate authenticity and strengthen our sense of self-esteem and well-being. The positive ripple effect of prioritizing ourselves is not limited to our own well-being. When we take care of ourselves, we create an environment that encourages others to do the same. Our authenticity and commitment to self-care inspire those around us to take similar steps to improve their own quality of life. From the Stoic perspective, authenticity and self-care are not just individual goals, but foundations for a meaningful and fulfilling life, both personally and communally. By living according to our values and taking care of our needs, we contribute not only to our own well-being, but also to the well-being of those around us. In short, prioritizing ourselves and being authentic from a Stoic perspective involves recognizing the importance of taking care of our own health and emotional well-being, establishing healthy boundaries, and living according to our values and principles. By doing so, we not only become a stronger and more balanced version of ourselves, but we also create a positive impact on the world around us. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices we can incorporate into our lives. It goes beyond a simple expression of thanks. It's a profound acknowledgement of the value of people, experiences, and small details that shape our existence. When we practice gratitude, we fundamentally shift our perspective, turning obstacles into opportunities and fostering a state of contentment with the present. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning and, instead of being carried away by the day's worries, take a moment to be thankful for being alive. You notice the sunlight filtering through the window and feel grateful for another day full of possibilities. This small act of gratitude can set the tone for the rest of your day, changing how you face challenges and relate to others. Gratitude is incorporated into our daily lives by paying attention to the small, everyday gifts, from a kind smile to the aroma of morning coffee. Every moment becomes an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the beauty around us. By doing so, we enrich our life experience and strengthen our relationships, as expressing gratitude improves and deepens the bonds we share with others. Even in the midst of adversity, gratitude can be a beacon of light. Each challenge or difficult situation can be seen as a teacher bringing valuable lessons for our personal growth. Instead of lamenting what we don't have, we can find joy in what is present in our lives. This emotional and spiritual resilience allows us to be flexible and adapt to circumstances, strengthening our connection with others and the universe. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate gratitude is to start each day with a moment of reflection to give thanks. This simple ritual can gradually transform our lives toward greater light, peace, and fulfillment. As we incorporate gratitude into our daily lives, we realize that it's not just an exercise for specific moments, but a life philosophy, a continuous path that teaches us to value every moment and breath. The practice of gratitude invites us to weave a personal journey of acknowledgement and appreciation. It reminds us that life is full of small wonders waiting to be discovered, and that every experience, positive or negative, has the potential to enrich our existence. By cultivating an attitude of gratitude, we open our minds and hearts to the abundance around us, transforming our perception of life and our interactions with the world and others. Living fully in the present is one of the fundamental teachings of Stoic philosophy. Focusing on the now allows us to experience each moment with renewed intensity. It helps us to be more mindful, effective, and focused in our daily actions and decisions. One of the main barriers to living fully in the present is the natural tendency of the mind to wander. This constant distraction takes us away from the present reality and prevents us from fully enjoying life. Recognizing this tendency is the first step toward freeing ourselves from concerns about the past and future. Practices for cultivating presence, such as meditation and mindfulness, provide us with powerful tools to strengthen our ability to remain in the present. Through mindfulness, we learn to be fully present in each moment, cultivating a deep sense of calm and mental clarity. Living in the present also has a significant impact on our relationships and how we face life's challenges. When we are fully present in our interactions with others, we connect more deeply with them and cultivate more authentic and meaningful relationships. One of the greatest joys of living fully in the present is the ability to find beauty and gratitude in every moment of life. When we are truly present, even the simplest experiences are filled with meaning and fill us with joy and gratitude. Lastly, it's important to recognize that living fully in the present not only benefits our own lives but also has a positive impact on the world around us. When we are present and engaged with the present moment, we radiate positive energy that affects those around us, inspiring them to do the same. The importance of flexibility and adaptability in daily life is crucial for facing challenges calmly and growing in the face of adversity. These skills allow us to adjust to changing circumstances rather than resisting them, helping us to remain steady and resilient in the face of life's twists and turns. Flexibility and adaptability involve accepting the lack of control over many situations, recognizing that there are aspects of life that are beyond our control, freeing us from worry about what we cannot change, and allowing us to focus on how we react to events. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by what we can't control, we can focus on making positive and constructive choices. A positive attitude towards challenges is essential for cultivating flexibility and adaptability. Being able to see difficult moments as opportunities to grow and strengthen ourselves allows us to face obstacles with determination and optimism. Every problem or challenge can be seen as a surprise exercise that life offers us, providing us with the opportunity to learn and develop as individuals. Flexibility allows us to maintain a positive perspective even in the most difficult situations, driving us to look for creative solutions and alternatives when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Instead of getting stuck in adversity, we can find ways to adapt and move forward with determination. A powerful analogy for understanding the importance of flexibility is that of bamboo. Bamboo is capable of bending with the wind, but not breaking, illustrating the need to adapt without losing our essence. Like bamboo, we must be able to bend with the changing circumstances of life without losing our inner strength. The practice of flexibility and adaptability is essential for developing emotional resilience, allowing us to remain calm and move forward even in difficult times, strengthening our ability to face challenges with determination and optimism. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by adversity, we can find strength in our ability to adapt and grow from it. In daily life, it is important to practice flexibility and adaptability in all areas. Every obstacle or challenge can be seen as an opportunity to exercise these skills and strengthen our ability to face challenges with calm and resilience. Flexibility and adaptability are considered a superpower in the modern world, as they prepare us to face challenges with resilience and optimism, ready for any eventuality that may arise. In short, being flexible and adaptable allows us to face life's challenges with calm and resilience, turning adversities into opportunities for personal growth and strengthening our ability to find creative solutions even in the most difficult moments. The pursuit of self-sufficiency and independence is a profound path towards true happiness and inner peace. For the Stoics, self-sufficiency goes beyond simply meeting our basic needs. It involves finding happiness and peace within oneself without overly depending on the approval or help of others. It's a state of emotional balance where we are able to face life's challenges with serenity and inner strength. This path to self-sufficiency involves developing solid internal qualities such as justice, courage, and balance. Emotional freedom allows us to face external challenges without being negatively affected by them. It's not about isolating ourselves from the world, but about finding the inner strength to stand firm in the midst of life's storms. We value relationships and experiences, but we do not depend on them for our happiness. Instead, we build lasting happiness based on an attitude of acceptance and appreciation for the simple things in life. Ultimately, self-sufficiency is a journey of self-discovery and personal growth that leads us to find true happiness and inner peace. It's a path that invites us to look within, to cultivate qualities like strength, wisdom, and compassion, and to build a life grounded in authenticity and balance. As we progress on this path, we become fuller and more conscious beings, capable of facing life's challenges with confidence and serenity. Adopting an attitude of emotional detachment in philosophy is crucial for achieving inner tranquility and wisdom. Detachment does not mean suppressing or denying our emotions, but learning to observe them objectively and remain steadfast in our long-term values and goals. The first step in practicing emotional detachment is recognizing that our emotions are transient and do not define our reality. We often let our emotions control our actions and decisions. However, by adopting a detached attitude, we can learn to observe our emotions without identifying with them, allowing them to flow freely without clinging to them. One of the key techniques for practicing emotional detachment is mindfulness or mindfulness. By cultivating present moment awareness, we can observe our emotions without judging or automatically reacting to them. Instead of being swept away by the current of our emotions, we can take a step back and consciously choose how to respond. Emotional detachment also involves cultivating an objective perspective on our experiences and circumstances. Instead of interpreting everything through the filter of our momentary emotions, we can train ourselves to see things clearly and objectively. This allows us to make informed decisions based on our long-term values, rather than acting impulsively under the influence of our transient emotions. One of the main advantages of emotional detachment is that it allows us to stay focused on our goals and values despite emotional fluctuations. Instead of letting our emotions distract or discourage us, we can maintain a clear vision of what is important to us and move forward with determination and perseverance. Furthermore, emotional detachment helps us develop greater resilience in the face of adversity. By not over-identifying with our emotions, we are less likely to fall into despair or hopelessness when facing difficulties. Instead, we can maintain a calm and confident attitude, knowing that we are capable of overcoming any challenge that comes our way. Another advantage of emotional detachment is that it helps us improve our interpersonal relationships. By not letting our emotions dictate our responses, we are more capable of communicating effectively and resolving conflicts constructively. Additionally, by not being emotionally dependent on others for our happiness or satisfaction, we can enjoy more mature and balanced relationships. In summary, practicing emotional detachment is an invaluable skill for cultivating inner tranquility and wisdom in everyday life. By learning to observe our emotions without identifying with them, we can maintain an objective perspective and focus on our long-term values and goals. This allows us to make informed decisions, develop greater resilience, and enjoy healthier and more satisfying relationships. Promoting introspection and self-knowledge on the path of Stoicism plays a crucial role in our personal and emotional development. These practices invite us to look inward, exploring our deepest emotions, thoughts, and motivations to better understand ourselves and the world around us. Introspection allows us to delve into our inner world, exploring the complexities of our emotions and thoughts. By taking the time to reflect on our experiences and reactions, we can identify recurring patterns and better understand the roots of our emotions and behaviors. Through introspection, we develop a greater self-awareness, recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, as well as our areas for emotional improvement. This self-awareness provides a solid foundation upon which to build our personal and emotional growth, allowing us to effectively identify and address areas of our life that require attention and development. Self-knowledge helps us understand our deepest motivations, revealing the driving forces behind our actions and decisions. By understanding our motivations, we can make more informed decisions aligned with our values and long-term goals rather than acting impulsively or reactively. One of the key tools for promoting introspection and self-knowledge is the practice of mindfulness or mindfulness. By cultivating present moment awareness, we can observe our internal and external experiences without judgment or automatic reaction. This allows us to develop greater mental and emotional clarity, facilitating the process of introspection and self-exploration. Another useful technique is keeping a reflection journal where we can record our daily thoughts, emotions, and experiences. By regularly writing about our experiences and reflecting on them, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves and gain valuable insights into areas of emotional improvement. Therapy can also be a powerful tool for promoting introspection and self-knowledge. By working with a trained therapist, we can explore our thoughts and emotions more deeply, identifying destructive patterns and developing strategies to address them effectively. By promoting introspection and self-knowledge, we cultivate a healthier and more compassionate relationship with ourselves. We learn to accept ourselves with all our imperfections and to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. This allows us to develop greater emotional resilience and a greater capacity to face life's challenges with calm and clarity. Developing mental and emotional resilience on the path of Stoicism plays a fundamental role. It's about cultivating an inner strength that allows us to face life's obstacles and challenges with determination and perseverance. It's the ability to remain steadfast in the face of difficulties without allowing them to discourage or divert us from our goals. Mental and emotional resilience involves learning to manage stress, uncertainty, and adversity constructively. It allows us to remain calm in the midst of the storm, finding solutions instead of being overwhelmed by problems. It's a process of self-discipline and self-control, where we learn to channel our emotions and energies positively. One of the keys to developing mental and emotional resilience is cultivating an attitude of acceptance and adaptation in the face of adverse circumstances. Instead of resisting or lamenting what we cannot change, we learn to accept reality as it is and look for ways to adapt and move forward. This attitude allows us to free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and focus our energy on what we can control. Another important aspect is learning to handle failure and criticism constructively. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, we use them as learning opportunities and growth. We recognize that failure is part of the process of achieving success and remain steadfast in our determination to move forward despite setbacks. The practice of gratitude also plays an important role in developing mental and emotional resilience. By focusing on what we have instead of what we lack, we cultivate an attitude of appreciation and satisfaction that helps us maintain a positive perspective even in the most difficult moments. Gratitude strengthens us emotionally and gives us the strength to face challenges with courage and optimism. Additionally, it's important to learn to set healthy boundaries and say no when necessary. This helps protect our mental and emotional health, preventing us from overloading ourselves with responsibilities or commitments that exhaust us. Learning to prioritize our needs and take care of ourselves is essential for maintaining mental and emotional resilience in the long term. The practice of meditation and mindfulness can also be helpful in developing mental and emotional resilience. These techniques help us train our minds to focus on the present moment, freeing us from past or future worries that may weaken our resilience. By learning to be present and centered in each moment, we strengthen our ability to face challenges with calm and clarity. Thank you for joining us on this journey towards personal development and inner strength. Now, If any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.